Hola chicos, ¿qué tal? Hoy toca un unboxing de esto que tengo por aquí. Últimamente estoy siendo muy fan de hacer unboxings de carteras. Y en esta ocasión toca este bolso, cartera o como ustedes le quieran llamar, de Chanel. Todo viene muy bien empacadito, todo muy protegido con estos pedacitos de tela que se los voy a sacar para poder mostrarles muy bien cómo es el bolso. Es totalmente negro. Tengo que sacar esto de aquí, pero viene todo muy bien cerrado, empacado, protegido para que no se dañe dentro del tiempo que esté viajando para llegar a nosotros. Y este es el bolso, está súper lindo. Tengo uno que es un poco parecido, pero realmente no es tan parecido porque este tiene dos cuerdas. Y bueno, no crean que esto es así, esto tengo que quitárselo para que puedan ver cómo son las cuerdas. Creo que son súper bonitas. Todo está de lujo, todo muy bonito. Quiero quitarle todo ya para mostrarles cómo luce. Miren, esto es una cuerda que es más larga, pero si la quieren hacer más corta, simplemente jalan esto y quedaría como una cartera o un bolso más cortito. Y esto que tiene por aquí es una etiqueta que se la voy a quitar para que puedan apreciar muy bien cómo se ve el bolso. Bueno, en principio por fuera así es como es el bolso. Tiene un estampado así como acolchadito, súper lindo, y la parte de atrás tiene este bolsillo que es muy práctico si quieres meter dinero, el móvil si es un móvil pequeño, o las llaves, lo que ustedes quieran pueden meter allí. Y si abrimos esto, aquí tiene otro bolsillo más que me parece súper bien, la verdad que sí. No es demasiado grande, pero sí puede ser práctico para poder meter algún papel o algo que ustedes quieran tener allí. Y esto es para que quede todo pegadito. Y luego de esto tiene esto, que este sí que es la parte que cubre lo que van a meter adentro. Y aquí trae plástico, que esto es para que el bolso no pierda la forma. Y luego acá, esto creo que es para que no agarre mal olor o cosas así, no estoy segura. La parte de acá dentro del bolso es un color marrón, vino tinto, no sé qué color lo ven ustedes. La parte de adentro no es demasiado grande, pero para mí estos bolsos son demasiado prácticos porque si voy a salir, simplemente agarro esto, meto el móvil, las llaves y el monedero y ya está listo. Yo no tengo demasiadas cosas para llevar cuando salgo. Además de que el bolso es pequeño, me parece súper genial porque aquí tiene otro bolsillo. La parte de acá adentro tiene esto, que son unos pequeños bolsillitos para que puedan meter cositas. Y el bolso está súper lindo, de verdad que es un bolso súper sencillo, pero nos sacaría mucho de apuros porque aparte es un bolso que se ve como lujoso. Y a pesar de que les dije que este bolso era Chanel, esto es una réplica triple A, como le llaman en algunas partes, o también una réplica exacta, idéntica a lo que es la marca, pero es una imitación. Por supuesto, al ser una imitación es mucho más económica de lo que cuesta un bolso original. Ya saben que la marca Chanel es súper costosa. Si quieren algo original de esa marca, pues se van a tener que gastar un montón de dinero. Si optan por llevar una marca que haga réplicas exactas como esta, pues van a poder gastar mucho menos dinero y llevarse un bolso que sea igual. Así que yo estoy súper contenta con mi bolsito. Lo puedo poner más largo si quiero llevármelo así como tipo cruzado, o puedo hacer que sea más corto si yo le pongo las cuerditas dobles. Ya sería como una cartera, así como les mostré al principio del video. Aquí les voy a dejar un código de descuento para que puedan aprovechar la oferta y el descuento que tiene esta marca para ustedes. Y aquí abajo en la descripción les voy a dejar el enlace. También les voy a dejar escrito el código de descuento aquí en la pantalla y en la descripción para que no se lo pierdan. Bien, les voy a dejar el nombre de usuario de mis redes sociales como el Instagram para que puedan ir a seguirme y vayan a ver todo el contenido que tengo por allí publicado. Bien, si les ha gustado este video y les ha gustado mi nuevo bolso, recuerden dejar un like y comentar aquí abajo, díganme si les gusta. Y también me gustaría saber si ustedes son fan de las marcas que hacen réplicas o prefieren irse siempre por las marcas originales, las que son más costosas. Ya saben que cada quien tiene sus gustos, así que quisiera saber cuáles son los suyos. Díganmelo aquí en los comentarios y nos vemos en un próximo video.
like the classic, like the small and medium and large classic flaps, but at the same time, they are meant to be crossbody, but not as long as this one. So it's just got me thinking like, again, wondering why it's fake or not. Authenticity cards. These can also be a big game changers because, I mean, you can buy a used one online and it could look like in pristine condition, and they'll show you an authenticity card with it. And you'll be like, okay, great, it's 100% real. No, because they do fake authenticity cards all the time. And I'm going to show you the biggest difference. Because again, if you are a first-time Chanel buyer and you're buying one online and you see that, like, let's say you were to get this bag in the mail, you wouldn't really know unless you did all your research to see if it was really fake or not. And if I had not had a mini, honestly, I would have not known. So I wasn't able to find any videos online kind of explaining the differences. So in that case, that's why I'm making one. Okay, back to these. The biggest thing I noticed is the way Chanel is written on the bottom. So when you look at these, one looks thicker than the other, and it's very slight. It's very, very, very slight. So the bottom one is slightly thicker than the top. But I was like, okay, that one's, again, maybe typing, whatever. It's fine. But this is what really gave it away for me. So when you look at the way the numbers are written, so the top one is the black classic flap and the bottom one is mine. Do you see a difference in the numbers? The numbering is slightly different. The 2 is not the same, and that's basically it. The 2 is really the one that's not the same. And I was like, let me take a quick look at it one last time. Yeah, 0 pretty much looks the same. 3 is slightly different. Yeah, I mean, unfortunately the bag did end up being a fake, because the one thing I looked at when I first got it was this part right here. So when you're looking at that and you can see how thick this is versus how thin this one is, look at that. That's a big difference. And I was personally kind of annoyed by it because I was dying to get my hands on this one bag. Okay, another indicator is usually right here. Chanel should always be, oopsies, let me put it this way. Chanel should always be on this side and Paris should always be on that side. In this case, they're both there, okay? And it should be either a flathead screw or they have the other type of screws, and I could just insert a picture to show you which one it is. But most of the time it will be a flathead screw. And also with the lettering, let me bring the camera much closer so you can see. So when you're looking at the lettering over here, you can see how it is over here versus here. This one seems a little bit more pressed together and like, I don't know, something about it. But then still when you compare it to this one, they don't match. Oh, they're further apart. That's what it is. And more like kind of narrowed down rather than like actually written correctly. So when you look at that, again, that's a big indicator of it being fake or a replica. So in conclusion, I think I'm 100% sure that this one is unfortunately a replica versus obviously this one, which I know I bought at a boutique, so I know it's 100% authentic. And I'm actually pretty like upset about it because I was really wanting to get my hands on this one, but I mean, I'd rather have the real one. Another big thing to look at is, which this one hit the nail on, is the leather and the stitching. I did compare all the stitchings to this and it was literally near perfect. Like when you look on the top versus the sides on the bottom, it just gives you the general idea that this could be authentic in terms of the stitching and the leather, and it didn't feel weird at all, didn't feel plasticky, which sometimes they would if they are cheaper replicas, but this one was a really expensive, like that's the thing, is I paid about $3,700 for this after tax, and this bag brand new goes for $3,800. And I understand the markup on it because it's the black mini flap, which is really hard to find. But at the same time, I was like, okay, I could just pay the same price, get the bag I want, and not have to worry about waiting on the wait list. No, I now have to go through an annoying return process.
Looking more rose gold. And then on the more matte silver here, the not shiny ones, gunmetal, this is a lighter silver, as you can see. So yeah, when you're comparing, you just want to make sure that the hardware changes are aligned, you know, when it starts to change, when they start to use. You can even count the links when they start to change the hardware color, and that will hopefully get you to what you need. So these two bags, and I was comparing the length of this strap because they match at every point, at every changes. I can tell that the strap will then have the same length. I've done a Chanel Classic Flap comparison and authentication, and they always make the fake bag longer in chain, so that one never match, and that one you can spot so quickly. But the Chanel 19 is a little bit harder, except for that trick I showed you on the hardware. Lastly, before I show you Mod Shop, the other thing that I noticed with rep bags, they tend to be really, this turn lock sometimes can be hard to turn. This one like turns very smoothly. This one I do notice a little bit of resistance, like I have to almost pull it, because the way it works, you have to turn this, right? So there's a little bit of like toughness. Like the only way I can pull it easily is I have to pull a little bit on it and then it will turn. So that's the other thing about this. Like the turn lock of the replica ones will tend to be a little bit harder to turn. It doesn't mean that your bag, vintage bag, doesn't mean that it's fake. It's just it's an old bag. It's probably need to be oiled up or repaired. But this is if you see a turn lock being hard to turn, not that, you know, there's no possibility with the current quality of new Chanel bags, but a lot of the fake or dupe bags I've seen, when you turn it, it's a little bit not as smooth as it should be with the authentic ones. Okay, let me just show you inside what the bag look like. This one will come with a burgundy interior. I have it like stuffed right now, but it just looks like this. Fabric interior to make the bag very light, and a zip closure, which is very useful. And then it has a really sizable outside pocket that has lining of a cloth, which again is very nice when you want to put your keys or anything sharp there. You don't have to worry about scratching the leather. That's why this is just absolute favorite of mine. Now this bag, because it is a different color, it will have a different color inside. You can see I'm using it. So there's the beige. The fabric is beige. One of the advantages of having like a dupe bag, like not really carrying. So I just look how much I packed this bag, and I really like the Chanel 19 because you can pack a lot of stuff in here. And the pocket here is also very useful. Like I put receipts in there and stuff, and so I never lose receipts. And yeah, I just really pack everything.